We have a lot to talk about, but first, goddamn, being double cheeked up on a Tuesday? I'm not trying to be nasty, it's just in my face. It's so big I can see that shit from the front. While this chapter may have been short, it was hella crazy. I mean, once again, we are left with more questions than we do have answers, and that is frustrating. So starting this chapter where we last left off, the mouth devil has been restored. Chainsaw Man now has a hole in his stomach, losing 2 arms, and now Yoru pulls the trigger again. What I find really cool about this is that whenever she first said bang, it didn't really process in my mind that there was a physical bullet. In my head, I was thinking this was kind of just like an imaginary thing, something that hits you with precision, kind of like a domain expansion. It's an attack that cannot miss. But as we can see, Chainsaw Man blocks it and then deflects it, and then the bullet hits a nearby building. That's really just saying that the bullet was too fast even for us readers to process. That may not be important, but it's a damn cool detail. We'll get back to the smaller details later, but let's talk about the children of war. So it appears anything that was created because of war or from war is the war devil's child. Not to brag or to stroke my big fat ego, but I was right. This further solidifies the idea that the nuclear weapons devil is a child of war. A lot of people got tripped up on the idea where Yoru said it would run counter to saving my comrades, and thought that the nuclear weapons devil was a friend of Yoru, not her child. But with what Asa says in this new chapter, she says, "Are you really okay with this, Yoru? With turning your friends, the devils born from you, into weapons?" And she goes on to say, children are their parents' property. No? What I really like about this panel in this conversation between Yoru and Asa is the fact that there's a clear distinction between humans and devils, the way they see their relationships. With the devils, we see their relationships as purely transactional. A lot, if not all of the devils within Chainsaw Man have contracts as relationships. This is shown between Pochita and Denji, Yoru and Asa, and even between devils themselves. And since the gun devil and the tank devil are children of war and her friends, Yoru sees them as almost nothing but to be used. This doesn't mean that Yoru doesn't feel bad about using them for this purpose. You see, humans or Asa sees relationships as something that should not be sacrificed. You see, since Yoru and Asa share a body, they share everything, their thoughts, their feelings, their emotions. So this might be something new for Yoru, feeling these certain type of emotions because she turned her children into weapons. She looks a bit confused and unsure on how to feel. At the moment, it seems like she's not really thinking, instead letting her emotions drive her. Because when she's asked the question, killing the Black Chainsaw Man will help grant Denji's wish, right? She says, that's what Fami said. You see, she isn't really giving it a second thought. Instead, she's putting all of those emotions in the fight with Chainsaw Man. As the fight goes on, she gets progressively seems more irritated or angrier. For one, because Chainsaw Man just runs away. He seems to not really be paying any mind towards Yoru, even though Yoru is quite literally at this moment begging for his attention. She's trying to make Chainsaw Man mad so that way he can fight her. And when she doesn't get what she wants, she starts a big attack. Approximately 400,000 of the National Pistol Association of America's 3.5 million members lose their index fingers. And what does this mean? I have no fucking clue. We'll talk about the Statue of Liberty in a bit, but what this attack may do is specifically target Chainsaw Man. And on why it took that many people's fingers, I want to say because it is a really powerful attack, rather than just Yoru pointing her finger and saying bang. Because in Chainsaw Man Part 1, the gun devil was able to do specific attacks whenever it did attack. Like for example, one of the gun devil's abilities was the ability to fire a bullet through the heart of every living thing born between the months of January and December, within approximately 1 kilometer. So basically, if you were within 1 kilometer of the gun devil, you're fucked. Another one of the gun devil's abilities was the ability to fire a bullet through the head of every child between the ages of 0 and 12 within approximately 1,500 meters of the gun devil. And one of the last gun devil abilities I will talk about is its ability activation gunfire towards Makima, aka a specific target. Now, if that's something that'll actually happen, I don't know, but it just makes sense because Yoru has no other reason to attack any other living thing but Chainsaw Man. I mean, that's quite literally the whole point of her battle. And I'm kind of confused on why Chainsaw Man didn't keep fighting Yoru. Like, I do get because he was really badly injured, but even at that, he was way faster than Yoru was able to see, because we see in one panel he's there and the next he's not, and Yoru points back and forth, unable to pinpoint where Chainsaw Man was. And she says, "Show yourself, Chainsaw Man." Yeah, in my opinion, he could have just offed her right then and there. Yeah, but I guess why Chainsaw Man wasn't paying attention to her at first was because he was looking for a place to get blood. And I've tried so hard to try and understand what he's saying here, but I just cannot compute. It sounds like he's trying to say hamburger, Vaga, but it just still doesn't add up. It's also really interesting because instead of taking blood from people, he's wanting people to donate their blood to him. It's like he doesn't want to harm any humans unless they harm him, and he doesn't want to seem like a villain at all. So Chainsaw Man likely won't fight until he regenerates. But is that something that's gonna be possible for him? Because as we've seen, Yoru is building up some type of big attack. Going back to the Statue of Liberty, it's very clear that Yoru is mimicking the Statue of Liberty, not just down to the pose but to the facial expressions as well. And when it's time to pull the trigger, the Statue of Liberty cracks. So there are two things I want to talk about with this. One, if Yoru can control the Statue of Liberty. As ridiculous as that sounds, hear me out. And for two, what the symbolism means. You see, the Statue of Liberty was a gift from the French people commemorating the alliance of the French and the United States. Because at one point the French and the United States were at war. And since the Statue of Liberty is a symbol of alliance from the war, it is then associated with war. But take that with a grain of salt though, because I just cooked something even better. So I was originally gonna say on how the crack in the Statue of Liberty may be a symbol that Yoru is starting a war with Chainsaw Man, which is more than likely so, but I was looking at the name of what this chapter was, trigger finger, and I was like, let me search that up on Google. And a trigger finger is essentially a condition that makes it difficult to bend or straighten a finger or thumb. And the symptoms include a finger that gets stuck in a bent position. And what we saw from the last chapter of Chainsaw Man is the fact that Yoru's finger went into a bent position. So because of the charge up of the attack that she is doing, her finger could possibly stay in that position, therefore that finger can no longer be used. And the Statue of Liberty being cracked is a symbol that that is one of the sacrifices of the big attack that she is using. But of course this is all just speculation and educational guesses. Like, I'm not a big brain that knows every piece of symbolism. More than likely, the Statue of Liberty is not gonna become some mecha thing that's gonna fight Chainsaw Man. That would be ridiculous. And if it does happen next chapter, I promise to get oiled up for you guys. Yeah, but I still do believe that Yoru does feel bad about turning her children into weapons. She just feels a different type of way about it. Like, because we see her facial expression turn emotionless to full of all types of confusing emotions. And I think that's really cool because at this point in the story, we really don't know what Asa and Yoru are. Personally, I want to say that Yoru and Asa are a fiend because we know Denji to be a hybrid, but Yoru and Asa aren't really a hybrid. We see hybrids as taking a part of their body off or doing some type of trigger in order to transform into their devil. And as for fiends, they look human but have devil features like power with their horns or even Makima with her eyes. And yes, I'm classifying Makima and Nayuta and Fami as fiends because depending on how much of the brain is intact of the corpse that the devil takes over, the devil will then adopt some if not all of the personality traits of their host's body. So at the moment, Yoru can be adopting Asa's personality traits. But hey, that's my 2 cents on this. I'm honestly very curious to what you guys think. What do you think Yoru and Asa are? And also let me know what you think of this newest chapter of Chainsaw Man. As for next chapter, I don't think Chainsaw Man is going to catch a break. I think he's going to get berated with a bunch, if not a single powerful attack that will target him only. And he's not going to get the chance to heal because it doesn't seem like he wants to take blood forcefully from anyone. If this is the case, we could be seeing nuclear weapons next chapter. If not, Chainsaw Man being tamed by whatever Fami has up her sleeve. But again, I could spit here or there on what I think is gonna happen, and it just not happen at all. But anyway, thank you all so much for watching this video on my Chainsaw Man chapter analysis. I will be coming out with an anime review pretty soon, like next week. So anyway, stay tuned for that, and thank you all so much for watching. I love you all, and I will see you all next time. Please subscribe to my channel.